Very good evening from Welisara, and we're looking over the grounds here at the Welisara Stadium at Navy's home ground, where they'll be hosting Kandy in this much look forward to Dialogue Rugby A-Division clash. The only person on the field at the moment is the Navy mascot, and he's quite strangely making lion noises, although he's dressed in a gorilla costume, unless it's a black lion that we're seeing out here, but he's got a Navy flag and he's been encouraging the crowd to get into it. He's much loved by the crowd here just under our commentary position. I'll be bringing you the game today with Mr. S.W. Chang, who will be calling this match, and it's going to be a very, very interesting game for sure, because Kandy are off a big win against Havelocks. They came from behind. That would have given them a little bit of confidence, but Navy are unbeaten here at Welisara. Kandy have never won here, and it's probably going to be a more of the same given the conditions underfoot. It's been quite a soggy day earlier on. It's beautiful conditions for rugby right now. It's nice and overcast. It's quite humid, but unfortunately the underfoot conditions are a little bit soggy. There's been a bit of a drizzle leading up to this game as well, and that makes the ball just wet enough for the Kandy three-quarters to drop. Also, it will mean that guys like Stefano Thakau will need to come into the game a little bit more and at closer quarters, which might give them a little bit of room, which might make sure that their room that they have to run is a little bit less. Our referee for this evening, Kyle Ung from Singapore, and he will be assisted by two Sri Lankan task judges. Dean Imal will be the assistant referee number one, and Kandy have now run onto the field. There will be familiar starting lineup for them with Anuruddha Welisara in on the wing. He's the guy who scored that brilliant try last week, and Fazil Marija restored in the number 10 position. Quintin Crocker drops to the bench, and as you can hear the roar for the home crowd, Yoshita Rajapaksa leads out the defending champions, the title favourites Navy, and the mascot, the gorilla, is now slowly moving off the field. Welcome to the commentary box, S.W. Chang. It's going to be a very interesting battle. The Navy forwards versus the Kandy backs. Who do you think is going to win in these conditions?
A very good evening, and a very good question, Shanaka. But it's the past versus the present defending champions. To answer your question, I think Kandy forwards need to step up today, because Navy forward, as you said, are slightly ahead. But when you look at the backs, I think Kandy backs have always produced some brilliant players. And it's nice to see Fazil Marja back in his position as number 10. And I was told Kandy are going to play the two foreign players as forwards, maybe to strengthen their forwards.
The team sheet that we've been given, Changa, though, is the fact that Oscar Uma, their big Kenyan sevens player, the high-profile sevens player, is going to be playing in the centres. So he will be partnering with Gayan Veeraratna. That's a nice big combination to combat Lee Keegle and Stefano Thakau. But if you look at this forward pack for Kandy, they've got Terence Henry, Achala Pereira, Iranga Swarnatilaka, Hasita Pereira, Soiru Anthony, Danushka Pereira, and Yoshita Rajapaksa. That's pretty much the 1 to 7 for the Sri Lanka team. The captain will be joined by Faupau Halafihi, who is the Tongan number 8, and he will be looking for a big game today, as well as Riza Mubarak, who has been so good this season with the ball at his feet. Kicks off and he bounces it into touch, and assistant referee Dean Imal gives the first line out to Kandy. This is an area where they have really struggled, Changa.
Yeah, absolutely. I can understand why you have to feel that ball. You have to have position, because the kick keeps bent to you. As you see a line out taking place in just outside the 22, but Kandy has the throw in. Good ball, good line out.
Well taken there by Gayan Ratnayaka in the middle of the line out for Kandy. They're rolling it forward, and going down is Sashika Jayawardena with the ball, and the referee immediately calls Faupau Halafihi for not releasing in the tackle. That's a call that a lot of local referees hesitate to make, Changa. I know you've been watching a lot of local rugby, but you find the foreign referees make this call much more than the Sri Lankan referees.
Yeah, although I hate to agree with you, I have to. Shanaka, yes, that's one area, and the other area is the body support that they take when they go into a tackle situation to support the ball. And I think we'll have to address that situation, especially if you're going to compete in the internationals.
Lovely touch finder from Fazil Marija there. takes his team into the 22 with an attacking line-out. Gayan Ratnayaka will go up again and takes it beautifully. Roshan Veeraratne. This is Marija. Marija to Christopher Cleat, playing in the three-quarter line, the big South African. They come back the side they came from. This is Gayan Veeraratne, puts a little chip kick in, not the great option, and knocked on by Pradeep Liyanage. So Navy get out of jail. Kandy had some good attacking options there. They had numbers, but Gayan Veeraratne was isolated and took the wrong option. But the line-out seems to have been fixed for the moment, Changa.
Yeah, absolutely, because Kandy has had a shorter line-out. The first one was a 5, the second one was a 4-man line, if I'm not mistaken. So I think they have got it all right, because Navy line-out is also pretty good, and I'm sure they can counter-attack the Kandy line-out.
Yes, Soiru Anthony is back for Navy because of the injury to Sharo Fernando. He's a very good line-out forward. But scrum goes Kandy's way. Fazil Marija again to Gayan Veeraratne. Looks for Oscar Umau but can't find him. Veeraratne is strong and stays on his feet. Goes down and presents the ball well. Veeraratne looks both ways. Looks for his tried and tested partner. Sasika Jayawardene in a little bit of strife but manages to hold on to the ball. Kandy are going backwards though. Oscar Uma now. Stefano Takao gets up and makes a big hit on him. Now they've got numbers. Sean Vijayasinghe looks for Gayan Veeraratne. Comes in under a good tackle from Dinusha Chaturanga. Veeraratne, it's the fourth phase for Kandy now. Big hit there by Piumal Manchanayaka by Achala Pereira. Roshan Veeraratne waits. And the referee blows for a no arms in the tackle. Achala Pereira coming in hard on his opposite number, Piumal Manchanayaka. And there was a clash that we heard, a clash of bodies that we heard right up here to the commentary box. And the referee is right to signal that one, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely right, because he had no arms round. He just came in, shouldered him, and quite rightly, the penalty for no arms around or dangerous tackle, whatever we may call it. It's definitely, certainly it was not a tackle.
Kyle Ung will need to set his stall out early, make the necessary calls and make sure that all the players know that he's in charge here. Piumal Manchanayaka has gone down and stayed down. And hopefully for Kandy he will be able to continue, and hopefully for the game. It's always terrible to see a player go out injured in these circumstances, but he's up, holding his head though. But front row forwards are used to that sort of thing, aren't they?
Absolutely. So the first shot at goal of a penalty, it should be quite an easy one. Coming back to the front row forwards, yes, they are tough.
Navy crowd trying to give a little bit of a torrid time to Roshan Veeraratne as he lines this one up. Strikes it well enough though. And the first points on the board for Kandy Sports Club. So the defending champions concede the first points, but it's still very, very early doors. It's still the 5th minute of play. Roshan Veeraratne, I watched him warming up, and he wasn't striking it very cleanly, Changa. This is one area, especially with Quinton Crocker dropping to the bench, that Kandy will struggle, because they haven't had a great place kicker ever since Nalaka Virakodi, actually. They haven't had a guy who can really punish the other teams from way back. Unlike this guy here, Riza Mubarak, who kicks off. Christopher Cleat calls for it, goes up, but doesn't collect it cleanly. So another restart botched by Kandy. They worked on their line out, and clearly restarting also is something that they have to do. But referee Kyle Ung has spotted something at the kickoff. Maybe it was a player in front. And so he's given the option. If a player is in front of the kicker, the option goes to the receiving team to take a re-kick or a scrum on the 50. I got that right, didn't I?
Absolutely spot on, Shanaka. He was miles in front. And I'm enjoying the refereeing part of it, how he loved the ball. He didn't blow it at once. He let it go. There was no advantage for Kandy. And now they brought play back in the center field, scrummage. And that's advantageous scrummage for Kandy.
So Chris Cleat moving into the number 8 position in place of Sean Vijayasinghe. And the referee says that front row caved in, so he'll call a reset. Although I thought if Cleat was going to go, he should have gone a little earlier. The Navy scrum much more superior. Sri Lanka's 2 prop forwards along with Sri Lanka's number 1 hooker. Now that Nama Rajapaksa has retired. Achala Pereira backing down with Terence Henry on his right on the tight head side, and Eranga Swarnatilaka, Podi Swarnatilaka as he's known to his friends, backing down on the loose head side. So first scrum of the game, it's not the first scrum, but it's a crucial scrum. And referee really taking his time to make sure that the front rows get it right. This time he's happy and Roshan Weeraratne hooks. Ball comes out untidily and Cleat knocks on. Now Leak Eagle gives it to Stefano Takao. And beating everyone to the line is Nigel Ratwata. He touched down. And it will be a 22 dropout. So Nigel Ratwata running back off that Stefano Takao kick. It was a good chase from the Navy team. But once again, turnover ball proving to be the problem. Navy swooping from that turnover, and we saw that last week as well. Srinath Surya Bandara setting Takao free. Again off turnover ball against CRNFC. They're so deadly, this Navy team. Nigel Ratwata gets it back underway from the 22 dropout. Riza Mubarak to Takao. Takao runs straight into the third row. And Oscar Uma now. Good tackle by Srinath Surya Bandara. Suri will have no trouble bringing down these big sevens boys. Marija puts it behind Chamara Dabare. The chase is not great from Kandy, and Dabare is forced to make a clearing kick. Weeraratne to his brother. This is Fazil Marija. That's a big hit by Takao again, but that looked perfectly legal. Weeraratne to Ouma at first receiver. This is Sachika Jayawardena. Almost good hands from him. Referee letting it go. He's playing some good continuity, this referee. And Weeraratne now wants to slow the game down and puts it deep. And Riza Mubarak will try and let it run out. And the referee says the ball was stationary, so it will be a 22 dropout. And the difference in the rule is if Riza actually caught that ball while it was traveling, it would have been a scrum back. But the ball was stationary and Riza took it out. So that will be a 22 dropout. So, well, the touch judges intervened and said the ball was actually traveling when Riza took it out. Interesting intervention there. We've seen some game-changing interventions from touch judges this season. Changa, is that a good thing? Should referees actually be calling on their touch judges so much?
Yeah, I think that because they are referee assistants, they're not touch judges or linesmen anymore. And incident like that, because referee was very far away from it, it's always good to, if you can call the third referee on the replay, on the screen, and I'm sure he can get the assistant from that. But interesting, did the ball cross the line or was it on the line? That was the question. But anyway, he was there. We see a scrum, and the option has been taken by Navy.
Impossible for us to tell from here whether the ball actually went over the line. It looked like Riza stepped out of the dead ball line and caught the ball. The question for me actually was whether it was moving or whether the ball was stationary. Halavehi waits, and Suranga Pushpakumara gets good protection. Leak Eagle on the short gap, but Fazil Marija with a good tackle. And Christopher Cleat gets in there with a big hit. And the Navy crowd not taking too kindly to it, neither are the Navy players. But Cleat had been penalized previously. Now that wasn't offside, Changa, because the ball was not within 1 meter of the tackle, which is why Gayan Weeraratne was okay in coming in for that hit, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was perfect, but he went back to the... yeah, you're right. On that incident, because it is the tabletop of the meter, and the ball was just flung, and he has all the right to collect it or to Yeah, but the matter was in the scrummage that he was offside there.
So if you're wondering at home whether that big hit was offside, it wasn't offside because there was no ruck formed. And if you are going to play the ball at a tackle, you have to come through the gate if the ball is within 1 meter of the tackle. There it wasn't, so perfectly legal to come through and make the hit there. Good line out from Kandy. They'll try to drive this one forward. They've set it now. But it's disintegrated. That's a good defense from Kandy there. Navy through Swarnatilaka. He's a powerful runner. Sasika Jayawardena brings him down. And now Hasita Pereira, the other big man, goes. Can see that this is a good rehearsed move, but Hasita has dropped the ball forward. And this has been a little bit of a problem in his game, Changa. He's such a big man, but his body position when he carries the ball, you would have seen it at Havelocks as well when he was there. He's not as devastating with ball in hand as he should be, isn't it?
I think once again it's the cardinal principle. You must have the ball in hand, and whatever situation that you come into, you have to protect the ball, because that's important. Offload it, keep it with you, but you can't lose position, and especially when you are 2 feet away from the goal line.
Especially when you're 2 feet away from the goal line and you're 6'4", 250 pounds. You certainly shouldn't be knocking it on. But this will be an interesting scrum for Navy because it's a very attacking position for them. And clearly they are the superior side, the superior pack. So I think they will probably get the shove on here. And that Sri Lanka forward pack will fancy their chances of winning this ball back. So under tremendous pressure come this Kandy front row, Kishore Jehan, Uchita Jayasuriya and Piumal Manchanayake. Uchita Jayasuriya actually in the hooker's jersey. He's the one who was injured earlier. My apologies. But a good break from Sean Vijayasinghe, but the referee says there was a penalty coming anyway for boring in and upwards. So Terence Henry found fault with there by referee Kyle Ung. Referee having a chat with Henry and telling him exactly what the issue was. But scrum penalties have become a part of the game we have to live with, isn't it, Changai? We didn't have scrum penalties in the times that you played the game so much, or certainly not even in the time that I played the game, which was a lot after you played the game. But the scrum penalty has become something that you really have to coach and you really have to prepare for.
Yeah, that is because of the body weight of the players have increased, and they are big. And in the front row, we used to have the shorter ones, with all apologies. But now it's a different story. They have all big made forwards, and it's very dangerous as we see Kandy mauling into the Navy forwards.
I thought that was some great defense from Terence Henry there. Christopher Cleat competing the high ball with Chamara Dabare. And Dabs has let that ball go. And this is already reaching boiling point, this game. It's very early still. And referee Kyle Ung coming back for the penalty. He said that there was illegal entry into the maul there. Henry did a good job, but one of his teammates unfortunately let the team down there. Very difficult to defend those rolling mauls. And Marija will gain about, not a lot, about 10 meters for his team. So Gayan Ratnayaka has been their go-to man in the line-out. He's been jumping at the back. And clearly Uchita Jayasuriya. And that's not a good throw, so they've gone for a different option. And Uchita Jayasuriya has thrown it directly into the hands of Sasika Jayawardena there. Jumping at the front. And it's a criminal waste to give away that crooked throw. But again, set pieces, Changa, for teams that are spending millions on foreign players, foreign coaches, and all that, they really need to get these basics right, don't they?
Whether you spend or not, the basics must come right. And set piece especially, it's a restart. And especially when you get a penalty and you put the ball down the park 40 meters, you must get that ball back. Otherwise, no point in putting the ball down to the 40 meters, because now see, Navy has the opportunity of the loose head.
Navy off your screens have lined up to run. Lee Kegel is at first receiver, and Reza Mubarak just behind him. But Fau Pau Halafihi breaks on what we call the wrong side. And that I'm not sure why he broke there, because Navy looked very much set up to run from deep. Or even Reza Mubarak to take the kick, with Lee Kegel protecting him. But strange break on the open side. We're seeing that a lot as well, Changa. Lots of breaks on the left side of the scrum from number 8s. Any idea why that has suddenly come to light?
Well, I think the number 8s still have not got the, I would say, the right option by going on the wheel, where you should be moving towards where your support is, rather than going towards into a pile of defense. Because most of the number 8, you are right, absolutely. A lot of breaks have been on the other side, on the wrong side of the wheel, where he should have gone the other way around.
There's been a substitution. Early doors for Kandy. Damit Disanayaka has come on for Ujita Jayasuriya, who obviously wasn't doing very well after that head knock that he got in the early part of the game. And Fazil Marija knocking that ball on, uncharacteristically for him. Yosita Rajapaksa going in for the loose ball and winning the penalty for his team. And the captain showing some good work at the breakdown there. And Reza Mubarak will thump this one into the Kandy 22. Kandy have been running most of the play so far in this first half, and Navy will need to settle and get into this game. They've got the experience and the personnel to do that, there's no doubt about that. Whereas Kandy are not as invincible as they used to be a few years ago. Achala Pereira. Right on the 22-meter line almost. Referee being very clear with his instructions here. Achala goes to Sajid Saranga, or Hasita Pereira it was. But the ball was knocked on, so it will come back for a 15-meter scrum. And the ball will be Kandy's. So will we see some wide play from Kandy here? Changa, Srinath Surya Bandara. From Navy. Srinath Surya Bandara at fly half. I like him at fly half, Changa. I think he's got good vision. Will we see him do something spectacular here?
I hope so. Coming back to the, I was just thinking with the Navy after the last weekend, 30 points to 6 to be 30 points to 26, where they're reserving their energy. As you see, Pau taking the ball from the base of the scrum once again to Pushpa Kumara. Navy has position in a very good attacking position now.
That was interesting break there, but Danushka Pereira, Gertha going into contact and losing the ball. And this is not completely the player's fault, Changa. I was having a walk around the ground and it's quite muddy. And the ball it's just muddy enough to make the ball slippery. It's not that sopping wet that you can sometimes hold the ball in. It's not pleasant conditions for close quarter play. So you've got to excuse some of these players in these conditions, but this has been a problem in Sri Lanka rugby, this lack of ball retention in contact. Gertha just loves it in the dirt here. Loves that tight game. Watch him come off the back here and put some pressure on Nigel Ratwatta, who will try to clear this ball. Scrum taking place outside the 22, so he can't kick it out on the full. Sean Vijay Singh, not a good break from the skipper, and Roshan Veeraratna puts the chip kick in, and Fazil Marija puts pressure on Chamra Dabare, who stayed on his feet well. Now Navy have it again through Achala Pereira. Quick shift to Hasita. Hasita looks for the basketball offload, but there's no one there, so he holds on to it wisely. And now they have space. Leak Eagle. That's a massive high tackle from Gayan Veeraratna on Leak Eagle. He did well to hold on to the ball, Leak Eagle. And referee Kyle Ung will call Gayan Veeraratna to him after he has a chat to D. Nimal, who had his flag up. Changa, could you explain to our viewers how the touch judge is expected to put his flag up? What's the protocol? If the referee's seen it, does he need to put the flag up, or does he put the flag up if the referee has missed it? What's the dynamic there?
Actually, it doesn't matter. You have the flag horizontally if you've seen it, and the referee will have a chat, and it doesn't matter whether he has seen it or not. But sevens is a bit different. I remember when I used to run touch, I've seen it, I've seen the high tackle, I had my flag out, and the referee gave me the thumbs up, and he was playing, he knew that what was happening, and then the matter was over. And he had a chat after the advantage given to the player concerned. And but in the 15s, you have to have the flag, and I think the referee must be informed. He may have missed it, he would have seen something else. A lot of things can happen in the 15 meters. So it's a Navy to go for the 3 points on the 10 meter in the Kandy territory to equal the scores. Riza Mubarak, has he got the kicking boots? That will be the question.
Well, I watched him warm up. He was striking it very cleanly, and he was on his home ground. You'd expect Sri Lanka's #1 place kicker to be able to get this. He's got harder kicks, much harder kicks in his career. But the pressure is on because Navy are still not on the scoreboard. It's a lovely kick. Excellent kick from Riza Mubarak. Despite the slip, his processors were completely spot on. And he really has been a talisman for whichever side he's played in, whether it's for Sia, for Navy, or for Sri Lanka. He has really been one of those rocks that you can build your team around, isn't it, Changa? So important to have a good place kicker.
He's not only a good place kicker, he's also a safe fullback and an attacking fullback. He's a complete player at number 15. There's no doubt about that.
I only wish he'd put on 10 more kilos, Changa, to be very honest with you. But you can see why he's so good, because he collected that restart and now he sent the opposition team 60 meters downfield. So that's what he can do with his boot. He can completely demoralize the opposition. And getting that difficult kick, and now putting Navy back in the, putting Kandy back in their half. Mubarak has already struck 2 blows. It's about doing your core skills right, and that's something he does very well. Not a flashy player. You won't find him doing the same sort of attacking runs of maybe Rojana Hettiarachchi or Nigel Ratwatta. But his core skills are top-notch. Damit Tisanayaka, the hooker who came on, finds Gayan Ratnayaka. And Roshan Veeraratna with the box kick. It's a lovely kick this time. And Christopher Cleat will compete. Cleat collects it and he's going to go for the line. Christopher Cleat is over in the corner. Chamara Dabare didn't have a clue. It was a lovely kick from Roshan Veeraratna. And Christopher Cleat has been chasing well all day. And the South African flanker has the first try for Kandy.
Absolutely, well executed kick, because everybody was focusing on the winger on that side. But this reminds me of one player who played for Sia, Hensman, who used to have this kind of speed and agility, and his creeps in to score tries. Absolutely beautiful, brilliant. Kandy has been brilliant. They have been working hard, and they deserve to be in front.
Christopher Cleat really upsetting the Navy game plan. They didn't expect to concede from there. It was a good box kick, but an innocuous box kick from Roshan Veeraratna. And Chamara Dabare went up for it, but as Changa said, he was expecting the opposition to come from the opposite side, the winger. And that kick is not good from Roshan Weeraratne. So the score is 8-3 now in favor of the visiting team. And the Navy forwards will It was a marginal chase, and there's just inches in this game, isn't there, Changa?
Absolutely. He was so fast. I was actually debating whether he was slightly ahead of the kicker, but it didn't matter. The collection was fantastic, and he just raced. And Dabare was waiting to see whether the ball coming to his hands. As you see the Navy restart, urgent. Yes, the loose ball. Kandy in trouble. They've been very much trouble in facing the kickoffs at the start of the game.
Very much indeed. Restarting is something that Coach Johan Taylor will need to work on, and Leonard De Silva will have to instruct his fly half to find Setefano Takao. It's another good kick from Roshan Weeraratne, and Suranga Pushpakumara is back to help out Dabare this time. That's a really good collection from the little scrum half. And Yoshita Rajapaksa, the captain, acts. And that's a nice kick from Srinath Suryabandar, putting immediate pressure on Nigel Ratwata, who takes it beautifully. Superb technique from Nigel Ratwata. Oscar Uma now runs straight into Soiru Anthony, who says, "You shall go no further." Roshan Weeraratne will look for the box kick again, and that's a terrible pass from the Kandy ex-skipper, and now the try scorer, Cleat, will try to set it up again. Marija, they're up on him really quickly, and Gayan Weeraratne now finds Anuruddha Villavara. Villavara quickly gobbled up by Setefano Takao, but he's still going. Takao finally gets him down. Sasika Jayawardena does well to get there, the flanker. And now Oscar Uma waits for it, but it's a good box kick again from Weeraratne. Slipping underfoot is Nigel Ratwata, and now Kandy have space. Dinusha Chaturanga coming off his wing. Good work rate from the Sri Lanka wing three-quarter. And now he gives it to his colleague Chamara Dabare, and now there's space. Pradeep Lianage, though, the experienced man, goes back and gets clattered by Danushka Pereira. And Gertha picks up the ball. It's Halafihi, in fact. Now Navy are with their tails up, and they win the penalty. Outstanding work by Navy there, taking advantage of Nigel Ratwata's slip on the far side. And now Halafihi picks and goes. I'm not sure that was the right option, because Navy have a good driving maul. Achala Pereira gives it to Swarna Tilaka. And is he over? Swarna Tilaka's almost over. Referee's given his arm for a penalty, and Yoshita Rajapaksa goes for the line. Almost over still again. Good defense from Kandy on the line. There's absolutely nobody marking outside. And Kandy have still not, Navy have still not given the ball to their three-quarters, who are screaming for it. And now Srinath Suryabandara should have thrown a long pass, but instead tried to step his way through. And now the penalty finally comes for Navy. They almost had the try that they so richly deserved. And Yoshita taps and goes, but gets hammered back. And the referee will come back for the penalty and say, "Get 5 meters, please." Christopher Cleat and one of the Navy players obviously had a head knock, and they're both down. Srinath Suryabandare, in fact, who stepped back. So really intense passage of play, and you can see that Navy have now suddenly been fired up by that try, Changa, and they're playing like they should have been playing all this time.
Yeah, that's what I believe in, Shanaka, because if two sides are waiting with their guns already, and when you have the first shot fired, you're bound to get at least 10 coming at you. And that's what happened. Navy has got fired. They should have got fired by themselves, like trying to score, rather than waiting till the opponents fire you up. But nevertheless, there's a good passage of play. All this time the game was a bit, testing each other's defenses. But now I think it has livened up a bit, and Navy are sniffing that goal line, and they must be wanting to equalize and get in power before the half time.
Well, Yoshita Rajapaksa has done the smart thing here. He's called for a scrum off that penalty. And this will make life difficult for Kandy. Surya Bandara off your screens, getting his head taped up a bit. Might have had a small cut opening up there. Surya is a tough character. It's only a little man, but it's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog, they say. So they'll have a small rest, and Navy watch for Halafihi off the back here. Gayan Veeraratne has moved in as the first defender for Kandy. Obviously his physicality is better suited to tackle in close. But watch for Suranga Pushpakumara here as well. Can be a tricky customer from close out. And the Sri Lanka pack will expect to walk this one over. Channel 3 ball for Navy. And Yoshita Rajapaksa picks up at the back. Flung out to Surya Bandara, who puts the kick in. But the referee has given the penalty that he gave earlier against Navy towards Navy. And that was the pulling down of the scrum. Yoshita Rajapaksa taps and goes. And once again a penalty coming. There's surely got to be a card here if the try is not scored, Changa. And yes, referee's put his time off and he'll go to his pocket surely.
Yeah, interesting, the card, he's having a chat now. This is repeated infringement. It's another penalty, but I'm sure he will go under the post next time if there's an infringement of that nature.
This time it's Halafihi who taps and goes. Now the Kandy defense under real pressure, not only from Navy but from the referee as well. And they get the scrum. Too many bodies piled in there. So Navy 3/4 almost begging for the ball out here. But in these conditions, it makes sense to keep it with their big forwards. Got a bunch of guys who can score tries. Terence Henry, who loves to score tries. Swarna Tilaka, who is a very powerful man from 5 out. Rajapaksa himself, who scored truckloads of tries. Started off the season with a hat-trick. Lots of big men. But it's gone. Scrum is Kandy's. Changa, I didn't see that one coming. And Fazil Marija thumps this one down the field, and Mubarak will collect easily. And now a chance to run again. Puts in a nice little chip up and under and collects beautifully. This is what we were talking about. His core skills are so good. And now Achala Pereira cutting back on the angle and loses the ball forward. Danushka Pereira and Christopher Cleat having a little disagreement there. And what happens is that Danushka's jersey, Gertha's jersey, comes off the worse for it.
A little bit of it. The game is getting hotter. And Danushka needs to change his jersey, I think. But that what happened was Shanaka, the Navy forwards couldn't bring the ball out. And the referee said it was held up. And they got the put in because of that. And they just missed an opportunity of scoring. Referee is having a chat with the two captains. For number 8 and a flying forward, both ex-Sri Lanka captains. Kandy of course bringing back Sean. Both were brought back actually, in fact, to lead the sides. Yeah, in fact to lead the sides too, because Josh is the captain them not last year, the year before, and Sean captain Kandy earlier. Of course, very successful triple champion skipper. Kandy has always maintained their playing They although they have not won the last 2 years, but they've been consistent in their play.
That was nice to see a little low five between Cleat and Gertha. Gertha's such a tough player, but plays it clean. He's so good at the breakdown, got great body position, but very aggressive player, and it's nice to see that it doesn't boil over. It's just for the moment, and a good spirit there from both teams. Ball not hooked, says the referee. So Navy will be kicking themselves. They had several penalties from 5 meters out. They had a scrum. They tapped and went. But Kandy's defense held. But that's going to take a toll, Changa, in the second half, because Kandy are going to be very, very tired after defending all of that. And you can see the referee just moving the scrum a little bit because the field is getting ploughed up. As I said earlier, it's quite soggy underfoot. It's quite muddy, so the field gets really messed up because of those boots. It's like a buffalo has dragged a plow through it. It's not safe. Scrum has been a problem today, Changa, and that's mainly because of the ground conditions.
Yeah, even I walked across the field and the conditions are very soggy, and I know the forwards, in the front row forwards especially, must be having a torrid time out there. Hopefully they got long studs rather than the short ones, and hopefully they are steel, and that goes into the ground. Talking about the props, try scoring, of course they are hungry for that because they work hard, and the glamour boys, the three quarters, they get all the credit for the tries.
Yes, it's always good to have two forwards in the commentary box, Changa. Riza Mubarak taking it on the bounce, but Oscar Uma has to release him. Danushka getting back well. Hard-working flank forward. And that was offside from Shanaka Bandara. Clearly offside there. Silly penalty to give away. And now Pushpa Kumara looks for Dabare. Dabare breaks one tackle. Good strength from the former Havelocks and Sri Lanka winger. It's a little bit of a roll forward from Pushpe, but referee lets it go. And now, and the referee comes back. He says there's no advantage. Shanaka Bandara was clearly offside at the last breakdown. And after getting out of their own 22 after a tremendous sustained period of Navy pressure, Kandy have given it away once again, and Mubarak will look to put them exactly where they came from. Spirals the ball into touch. And with just a few more minutes left for half-time, Navy will definitely want to get on the board. So they'll find themselves opposite from where they were last week, Changa. They will be actually chasing the game at half-time. So we should see an interesting 40 minutes of rugby from the defending champions.
Yeah, interesting to see, but I think the defending champions have got their foreign lineup on the bench. They have only one forward and the 2 or 3 quarters. As we see, Pau taking it up front.
That was could have been dangerous moments for Pau Halafihi, but Kandy doing really well and bringing the player down with responsibility. Good to see. Surya Bandara finally swings it wide. Good tackle on Terence Henry by Fazil Marija there. And Pushpa Kumara getting back. Now they have numbers. Setafana Takao steps inside Christopher Cleat. It's a good ball. And Riza Mubarak does well before he gets absolutely flattened by the giant Christopher Cleat. Riza still on the floor. Gets up and walks back as a tough man as he is. But Navy had numbers there, Changa, and just a little bit slow in moving the ball to Dinusha Chaturanga.
I think the Kandy defense well organized. They're coming up quite fast, man-to-man. I think Surya Bandara will have to use that boot a bit to put it behind the 3 quarters.
Saw him do it last week. It's an early engagement. So quick tap. Pushpa Kumar asking for the ball, but there's no obligation for the scrum half, the opposite scrum half, to give him the ball. Didn't really prevent him from taking it. And they're calling for a scrum now. So Yoshida Rajapaksa clearly has faith in his forward pack. He's called for a scrum now off a free kick and a penalty. And it looks like Kandy think that Halafihi will break on the blind side. So Cleat has moved to the blind side. But instead they're going open. And Surya Bandaro, he drops the ball cold. And the referee blows it quickly. So Surya, obviously his vision may be a little bit hampered from that bandage, Changa. I think that might be part of the problem.
Or maybe after the hit, not right like the Kandy hooker, Ujit, who went out. And maybe, but the ball is slippery, as you said. Might find it difficult to catch the ball. I don't know why he stays so far away from the scrum when you have a wet ball.
Yeah, good point, Changa. Probably should make life a little easier for Pushpa Kumar and for himself. But again, referee taking a lot of time over this scrum, making sure the front rows align themselves well. So Kandy have another scrum. Sean Vijay Singh at the back, but it's gone straight through his legs. Nigel Ratpath puts in a lovely kick behind Dinusha Chaturanga, a nice crossfield kick. And Mubarak will have to go back with no angle. And that's a terrible bit of work from Shanaka Bandara. And that's half time, so Shanaka Bandara doesn't have to see the consequences of that embarrassing drop. And at half time, it's 8 points to Kandy, 3 points to Navy. And the Navy team will have to come back and do all they can to try and win this game. And it's well within their grasp. This game is only half done. Kandy will flag in the second 40 minutes because they've expended a lot of energy already. And once we come back after this Navy Band's entertainment, we'll bring you blockbuster action from the next 40 minutes of this Dialogue Rugby A Division League live from Welisara. Hello and welcome back to the live coverage from Welisara of this Navy versus Kandy blockbuster clash in the Dialogue Rugby A division. Shanaka in the commentary box with SW Chang bringing you the action live on www.thepapare.com. And going into halftime, it was a slender 8-3 lead that Kandy took with them. But there's nothing in that, and unless you've got more than 7 points of a lead, Changa, you can't expect to relax. We've seen one change from the Kandy team. They've brought Buanaka Udangamua into the side. He will probably shift into the centres unless he moves to the wing. And Oscar Ouma will partner Gayan Veeraratne. So we'll have to wait and see. Maybe Anuruddha Villavara has gone off. In fact, yes, it's a like-for-like change. Or no, Villavara is still on as well. So we'll tell you in a few moments who Buanaka Udangamua has come on for. Halafihi. That's a statement of intent from Navy, if there ever was one. A big run from Halafihi. Kandy knocked the ball on through Sean Vijay Singh. And now there's space for Yoshito Rajapaksa. Lovely hands to Lee Kegel. That's a super pass to Setafano Takao, but getting good traction is Pradeep Liyanage. Now Gayan Veeraratne makes a good tackle on Chamara Dabare. Now Kandy have it. Gayan Ratnayaka hits hard. And now they have numbers. Setafano Takao. Takao goes, breaks the first tackle. Surya Bandara gets hammered. So good tackle from Anuruddha Villavara on his 7th teammate. Takao at first receiver. That's not where he needs to be. Danushka Pereira. And that's a penalty for illegal entry. Coming in from the side, says the referee. So some excellent play to start off the second half from Navy, but just giving it away there, Changa. This is what you want to see from the champions.
Yeah, absolutely. They're quite clear. They want to intensify the game, and their game too. Absolutely right, Shanaka. That's a little what we like to see, but Kandy has cleared. They got a penalty. Not found touch. Or has he found touch? No.
Dinusa Chaturanga puts the big kick in. Not sure that was the right option. But now Kandy will have the ball in the same place where they almost had the line out. So the news is that Buanaka Udangamua has come on, and he's come on as a forward, Changa. So it's Shanaka Bandara who's gone off. And Buanaka Udangamua will be packing down in the second row. That's a real interesting call from coach Johan Taylor, because Udangamua is the Dharmaraja centre 3/4. He actually played in that championship Dharmaraja side, and also played for Sri Lanka schools in the centres, and has played for Kandy in the centres too. So again an infringement, a technical infringement in the line out, leaving the line out and coming back in. That was Christopher Cleet who left the line out and joined. That's the correct call from referee Kyle Ung. He left the line out and then took the ball as a receiver and came back into the line out. So a good call from the referee there.
Yeah, it was a bit of confusion because the forwards are moving up and down, and I think he came from outside and took the ball in, because you can't do that now. You have to maintain that a meter from the line out. And Navy occurs on the short arm, has opted for a scrummage. The scrummaging has been good. I'd be interested to see, as you said, we have a centre playing as a second row lock forward, and even with an original lock forward, the Kandy forwards are getting driven back at the scrummage. It'll be interesting to see this. Maybe he has changed his strength as we see the restart.
In fact, Changa has gone in at number 8, so Sasika Jayawardene has moved to the second row. Good tackle on Halafihi from Roshan Veeraratne. Sean Vijay Singh goes in after the ball but has no luck. It's good protection from Rajapaksa for his ball carrier, and now he takes it forward. Surya Bandara doesn't look for anyone, puts it high himself, and Nigel Ratwata is safe as houses. Another good kick from Ratwata, who chases this ball back, and Surya Bandara gets hammered by his 7th teammate again, trying to hack it forward, Kandy. And they've got some turnover ball. But there was a knock on, and well spotted there. You could see Riza Mubarak off your screen pointing to the referee and saying there was a knock on, ref. And Pradeep Lianage really should have done a little bit better after a lovely chase from Nigel Ratwath onto his own high kick. There's been some good chasing from this Kandy team, Changa. It's an aspect of the game that we tend to overlook, but a good chase can really turn a kick into a wonderful attacking weapon.
Yeah, I totally agree. And if you watch the All Blacks England game, where the Blacks won it, England did try the high ball, but no chases at all, and it was easy going for the All Blacks. And if you kick the ball against a side like All Blacks, you have to get it back. And here, as you say, quite rightly, Kandy, their kicks have been chased, and they have been under the ball, and not one, at least two. But not in this instant, where actually they confused everyone. They thought the ball had gone out, and it did not. And even Chaturanga, who feel the ball, was confused, and he got so confused he kicked the ball right into touch.
So Hasita Pereira has gone off, and Sajid Saranga is on in the second row. Hasita limps off. That's a shame for Navy because they've lost a big lock forward. But Sajid Saranga is no mean scrummager himself. Played a lot of rugby for the team he's playing against now, Kandy. Good back of the hand release from Halafihi to Lee Kegel, who takes it in. Riza Mubarak, he was inside his 22. Kicks it down to his good friend Nigel Ratwath, but there are no friends today. They're all playing to win. And Sajid Saranga doesn't get to the balls. Dinusha Chaturanga does. And now Riza Mubarak waits again to put this one deep. Fazil Marija chases it back. The bounce is good for Dabare. Dabare gets it off to Takao. And Takao finds the one man on the pitch he finds difficult to beat. And Oscar Uma. But now Navy with their tails up. Great ball for Surya Bandara, but it's knocked on. That's a really bad mistake from Soiru Anthony, but you have to feel for the man. The pass was on his bootlaces, Changa. You could really not expect a second row to bend down and pick that one up.
Yeah, absolutely. But these passes must be taken. The conditions are such that. And Kakao's Setafano actually slipped before he came to his man. And it was a good battle to see the Kenyan centre and Kakao here. But definitely the conditions are not right for long passes. And I think the Navy forwards must stay close to each other.
Well, one thing I know for sure, Changa, is that a lot of these players don't really have two pairs of boots for the different conditions. Especially not the forwards, and in weather like this, you sometimes even need your backs to wear the longer studs, especially the midfielders. So no changes for Navy. Remains to be seen whether they'll bring in Joeli Lutumailangi to join Stefano Takao, whether he'll play the 80 minutes in this game, because they have to chase the game. But apart from that Christopher Cleat opportunistic try, there has been little to choose between the two teams, and Navy's destroy Kandy scrum. Nigel Ratwath onto his left foot. That's something he does so well. Nigel kick off both feet. Sends Mubarak hurrying back into his 22. They've got to call for it, and they do. And Roshan Veeraratne now looks for Buaneka Udangamu, the big man. The centre playing as number 8. And now Kandy will look to move it. Nigel Ratwath takes it well and puts in a lovely kick. Ooh, it hits the post. It grazes the post, Changa. And what's the rule there? I'm going to ask you this one. It grazed the post, and I don't think D. Nimal, the assistant referee, saw it just graze the post. It was clear from our angle, but not from Nimal's angle. So what should the call be?
The post is in the field of play. So it is in the field of play. So right call. of a 5 meters line out.
So a superb bit of skill from Nigel Rothwater, but a lovely take from Soiru Anthony for Navy. So that's a great defensive line out. Navy asking why Sean Vijay Singh was allowed to come offside, and he wasn't. Well spotted by the referee there. So a superb defensive line out. So important to keep your discipline, especially in attacking situations. There's been a lot of chat with the referee from both captains, Sean Vijay Singh and Yoshita Rajapaksa, both having a dialogue, but none of it has been argumentative, Changa, and that's good to see, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I was just telling, although I made that comment, if a player carrying the ball touched the post, the try is disallowed. Is it? I think the flag is okay, but I think if you touch the corner post, it's not allowed. So I need to. They may have changed. Yeah, I need to go back. I refereed in the 1940s, so I need to go back. It'll be an interesting point.
Don't mislead the listeners, Changa. You're not nearly as old as that. David Halafihi stepping back and setting it up for the big Navy forwards. They'll do well to keep this tight for a few phases. Surya Bandara sensing a gap, but Udangamu tackling him. And with a good turnover there. And the tackler not releasing. Playing advantage the referee. And now Gayan Veeraratne. Oscar Ouma well tackled by Chamara Dabare. Still the penalty is coming. Marija to Kishore Jahan. His first run of the game, the prop forward who's done a lot of hard work. And that's just outside the 22, but well taken by Mubarak, but the referee will bring it back. Could see the awareness there also from Mubarak. He knew that he was close to the 22-meter line, and he made sure he was very safe inside the 22 so he could mark that. But coming back for the penalty where the tackler did not roll away. And Roshan Veeraratne will go for the posts. And this is to send Navy out more than 7 points. But in fact, it'll be only 7 points if they actually just over 7 points. It'll be an 8-point lead if this goes. But it's a tough kick, Changa, and he's not the best kicker in the world. Would you have taken this?
I'm not so sure because number one is to ask the kicker whether he wants to have a go, he's capable. And if he has confidence, why not? But having said, because it's a crucial kick, with 8 points you got to score twice to be in front. But here it's very crucial. It's right in front of the post. 45 meters. So it's a long distance one.
Oh, it's a good kick by the looks of things, but just under the crossbar. It's a lovely kick. But Roshan Veeraratne just scraping it under the post, so he'll be disappointed with that. Saw Christopher Cleat taking some massive kicks at the warm-up from beyond the 50-meter mark. He might. Welcome back to our live coverage on ThePapare.com. Very sorry for that interruption. We've had a few hardware problems here at Welisara, but just to tell you that Gayan Veeraratne has deservedly got a yellow card, his second infringement. And it was an unnecessary late hack on Reza Mubarak, and he's gone off. So Kandy are down to 14 men, and they have been paying the price as Navy have been on the attack. Sean Vijay Singh goes off the back. Getting him is Yoshita Rajapaksa. Use it, says the referee, and they do it, doubling up. Kishore Jahan. It's good refereeing, I have to say. Saying use it early. Lovely kick. Real pressure on Riza Mubarak that time, but the ball bouncing and beating everybody. And a knock forward, says the ref. I thought the first knock forward came from Nigel Ratwat actually. It was a lovely kick though from Roshan Weeraratne. That his box kicking has been excellent today, Changa.
Yeah, absolutely. Kandy is playing to a pattern and they're stuck to that, executed it very well. As you can see, Navy are making two changes, double changes. Joely Lutu is on the field with Satya is on the field too. And number 8 Pau is off, so they got two centers, Fijian, Kakao and Joely. And that'll be interesting.
So big shifts here for the Kandy pack. Shatit Saranga goes to number 8. Satya Ranatunga goes into the second row. And Joely Lutu Mailangi joins Setefano Takao, his countryman, in the midfield, which is now down to two men, or down to one man, because Gayan Weeraratne is in the bin. So that's an interesting call from coach Leonard De Silva, looking to exploit that yellow card. And they've also made another change, a guy who can change the game in a matter of seconds. Vishwamitra Jayasinghe is on the field. Lovely ball to Nigel Ratwata. Ratwata dummies. Almost through Ratwata. Right on the corner flag. And the referee has blown for a penalty. A lovely dummy from Nigel Ratwata beating Vishwamitra Jayasinghe, who I was just saying has come onto the field. And Roshan Weeraratne now gives it to Christopher Cleat. Cleat goes and he's over! Christopher Cleat has beaten everyone to the line. There was no prizes for guessing that it was going to go to the strong man from South Africa. And Swarna Tilaka tried his best, but couldn't stop the body position and leg drive of Christopher Cleat. And are we looking at a reversal here? Is this going to be the first loss for Navy at Welisara, Changa? They've got the power, they've got the personnel to come back, but 14-man Kandy have somehow scored a try.
Well, if the 14 men can do it, it's going to be take a long time. Now it's 8 points to 3 with a try. That's 10 points to 3. Conversion to come. This conversion is going to be crucial because it's because if do Navy score and goal, then it's going to be equal. But having said that, Kandy has got points on the board with 14 men, and that's going to be very, very crucial and hurting Navy. As we see, Weeraratne, the halfback, is to add the 2 points. Going to be crucial 2 points. But Navy will have to score twice to come through. No, he hooked it. He hooked it to the right post. And that's crucial. It's 10 points to 13 points to 3. Sorry, my apologies. 13 points to 3. Navy have to score twice now.
Well, two costly misses from Roshan Weeraratne. 5 points, in fact 7 points that is given away. And now the Navy crowd are rising. They're getting behind their home team. Salia Hadapangoda has come on in place of Suranga Pushpakumara. And that's a lovely kick from Mubarak, hangs it deep. And Ratnayaka knocks it on. Suranga Pushpakumara now. Iranga Swarnatilaka rather makes the run. Hadapangoda. Now Navy have it, they've got numbers. Achala Pereira goes on a run. Udangamua brings him down finally. Hadapangoda. Surya Bandara. Lutu Mailangi slips, but he comes back on the angle. Lutu Mailangi is still going. Marija brings him back. Hadapangoda. Riza Mubarak at first receiver. Yoshita Rajapaksa gives the long ball out. But the Kandy defense. Number 5 was offside, says the referee. And are Kandy going to see a second man in the bin? It's getting very dark here, Changa. We've got a few minutes to play. We've got about 20 minutes to play, I would think, in this game. And the referee's asking for number 5, but Sean Vijay confusedly telling him, sir, number 5 is not on the field. And if the rains come down, it's going to make it even more difficult for Navy to spin the ball to these dangerous centers. And Reza will step up now to make this 13 points to 6. This will be an easy conversion for him. You can bet your bottom dollar that he will get this in. And that turns it into a 7-point game, Changa. That's why, as you were saying, the conversion was crucial. And this is a good call from Yoshida Rajapaksa to take the points and make it a 7-point game again. Put pressure back on Kandy.
Absolutely crucial. Good call by the skipper. But Brisa still has to kick it. He's got it. That's 3 points. 6 points to Navy. 13 points to Kandy. But Kandy has dominated play right from the start. And they scored a try. And the thorn in the flesh has been Edwin Cocker, the number 6. Chris Cleat, my apologies. The number 6. He's been all over the place. On my number 7.
Well, Navy are not going to go away without a fight as the gloom descends on Welisara. The lights are coming on slowly. And at their home grounds, they will want to be unbeaten. That's a long ball out to Oscar Ouma. Ouma on Setafano Takao. Bumps Takao off. Bumps Sajid Saranga off, but not for long. Now it comes out to Marija. Marija has some space. Chooses to put the kick in. He had 3 on 2, though I thought he should have drawn and passed because he had 2 excellent ball runners outside him. Nigel Ratwat and Pradeep Lianage. And while you've been talking about Christopher Cleat, who has been a real one-man show in this Kandy pack, Changa, Nigel Ratwat has been excellent at the back in both attack and defense as well for Kandy. As has Reza Mubarak, his opposite number. So 2 good fullbacks going at each other. It's a good sight to see for the purists. Well taken by Soiru Anthony. Kandy standing off, not engaging. Not engaging. And unfortunately though, Kishore Jehan hadn't got the memo. So he engaged, and if one man engaging is enough. So referee's got his arm out for a penalty to Navy. And Mubarak will put in the high up and under. Really difficult ball for Ratwat. And now it's hacked away by Hadapangoda. Salia Hadapangoda, but Nigel does well to get back. And the ball is knocked forward. That's a real shame. Knocked forward by Vishwamitra Jayasinghe. But it's a deadly ball to take coming out of these black clouds that are hanging over these Welisara grounds. But Ratwat recovered well to throw himself at the feet of the onrushing Navy player and rescue that ball. Desperate defense from Kandy. They're down to 14 men and really feeling it. This next few minutes until Gayan Veeraratne comes back onto the field. Oh, in fact, he's back. So now they've got their full complement. And Sajid Saranga will look to go off the back. Salia Handapangoda has gone to the fly half's berth. And Surya Bandara, from this defensive scrum, has come to the number 9 position. So you wanted that change made earlier, Changa.
Absolutely, because he's a halfback. And he's a good halfback, because I saw that the kick from the base of the scrum, and the body language, the kick he made, you know, the option is there for him to do that, and Pushpa Kumara doesn't have the option to kick from the base.
Especially in conditions like this, so there you heard it. Was it a tactical blunder? It'll all depend on the result of this game. Ratwata keeps it low, that's an intelligent kick, but he's given it to Lutu Mailangi. Lutu Mailangi now runs straight into 2 Kandy defenders. Good defense from Fazil Marija. He's done excellently in defense and lovely work at the... No, in fact, it wasn't great work. We thought it was, but Christopher Cleet had gone off his feet. So Lutumailangi at the back. Such a dangerous runner in broken play. The Fiji 7th star playing alongside his captain. And Mubarak that time makes no mistake. Finds touch. And the Navy crowd have descended into the field of play. And the referee might have a word about that. So this is a crucial line out for Navy. Soiru Anthony takes it, but it's lost. Kandy have it untidily, and now they've got room to run. Gayan Weeraratne gives it to Uma. Uma looking for Welisara, but he goes himself. Should have passed it. And now he's isolated and will probably give away a penalty, but the ball is coming for Cleet. And this is a man who's really been a one-man opposition. And the referee, gets in the way. That's a shame for Kandy. They ran it out 45 meters. And referee Kyle Ung is the man who stops them. So another line out going a begging, Changa.
Crucial line out. They got the touch. Last time, Riza Mubarak did not get the touch from a penalty. But this time he got touch. Unfortunately, they lost the line out. Very, very crucial. Navy will have to pull their socks up in their set pieces because line out is very crucial, very important, especially when you kick the ball 50 meters down the park and you don't get position because Kandy were under pressure. Any other team would have not contested, but Kandy did contest the ball and win the line out.
And now we're seeing some fresh legs. Will that make the difference for Navy? We're seeing Leo coming onto the field in place of Setafano Takao. Leo Nainkasau is on the field, and Setafano Takao walks forlornly off, knowing that he hasn't really made the impact he normally does for Navy. So now the Navy line is Handapangoda at fly half, Leo Nainkasau at center. Alongside him is Vishwamitra Jayasinghe in an unfamiliar position, and Riza Mubarak is on the wing. And Lutumailangi has gone to full back. But Riza has to go around and will now find Lutumailangi. And Christopher Cleet is everywhere today. And the ball goes out. Lutumailangi does well, but Cleet did well to cover us also. So you can see that thinking from the Navy team, they've seen a lot of kicking. So they've got Lutumailangi at the back so that he can run it back at them, Changa. So that's a good move reacting to the opposition.
Yeah, of course, but a little bit too late. They should have read it much before because the high ball was the Kandy's winner, and with that flank forward, the man of the match all over the place.
Well, the match is not over yet, and Kandy could very well win this. But even if Navy do win this, if they come back and win this match, still, I think Christopher Cleet will deserve the Man of the Match award, even if he's on the losing side. So Buaneka Udangamua will need to get around the park and make some tackles in these dying minutes. Handapangoda now goes to scrum half again. It's a slow ball to Surya Bandara, and it's static ball to Leo Naikasau. Well tackled, almost well tackled. That's a good ball to Dinusha Chaturanga. Does Chaturanga have the legs? He puts the kick in. And the ball is in touch. So a missed tackle there by Gayan Weeraratne, who didn't have the pace to stay with Leo Naikasau. And it was a good run by Dinusha Chaturanga, who scored the first try for Navy last week against Sia. He's really good down that touchline. Got long legs and a long stride, very difficult to bring down. And Rattata was standing very deep. The Kandy supporters on the far side getting in their voice. And Damit Disanayak to throw into Really important line out. It's overthrown by everybody, and Fazil Marija hacks it away. Not probably the best option. And Navy have a penalty. Leo here. Leo Naikasau. Surya Bandara to Lutumailangi. Lutumailangi to Vishwamitra Jayasinghe. Jayasinghe, the speedster, has his jersey taken over his head but goes down and retrieves the ball. And the referee says play on. Christopher Cleat is lucky to not give away that penalty. Achala Pereira barreling his way into the 22. Navy are desperate for the try. They have numbers over on the right. It's a long ball to Leo Naikasau. And now they've got space. Marija, real lovely tackle, try-saving tackle there from Fazil Marija on Tirusha Chaturanga. The old man turned down the gas on his younger sevens colleague. And now Soiru Anthony doesn't really have very many options. And that's a penalty in front of the posts for Navy. A try could win it for them if they goal this one, and ball over the top. Leo Naikasau. Desperate defense from Kandy. Surya Bandara gives it to Satya Ranatunga, the big man. He's fresh. Scored last week. And the referee will come back for the penalty. It's really exciting here, Changa. This game has come to life in the last few minutes.
Absolutely, because desperate catch-up rugby for Navy and Kandy are keeping it down. They want to defend as much as possible, delay time, win time, as they're in front by 7 points.
Well, I thought that was a really poor decision. They should have gone for the points. 13 points to 9 is much better than 13 points to 6. And now Achala Pereira again. That's a bad pass. Riza tidies it up. Gets clattered. Sandwiched in between two Kandy defenders. Handapangoda. Marija is up quickly, and spotting the gap is Leo Naikasau. He's been a thorn in the side since he's come on. Yeah, Rajapaksa runs a nice under. And now Handapangoda is hammered. That's good defense from Kandy. It's aggressive defense. And the ball was out, says the referee. And this is Jayasinghe, Vishwamitra Jayasinghe still going. Dancing with those twinkle toes. Everything to play for here. It's all happening. Lutumailangi punches forward. And the Kandy pack fall over the ball. And Navy have a penalty, which the referee will now give. And I think Kandy are lucky not to have another card come their way, Changa.
Yeah, absolutely. The penalties have come in for one infringement. And the referee has not used his card much.
It's an outstanding hit on Satya Ranatunga by Sachika Jayawardena. Surya Bandara sniping, trying to find a way through, almost getting through. He's done that so many times, Suri. Just a little step from the base and getting through that first fringe defender. I think Navy should have taken the 2 kicks on offer. They would have been 13-12 and in a position to win if that was the case. Kandy out on their feet. They will do their best to defend though. Sachika Jayawardena with another good tackle. He's got to move away. And now they've got it thumped down the field by Gayan Veeraratne. And Kandy live to breathe another day. That was desperate stuff there. Navy attacking for all their worth, throwing all the might of their experienced players and their Fijian 7 superstars at this Kandy team. But the Kandy defense has held today.
Absolutely. From the word go, it has been Kandy. They have played to a pattern, they have played to a plan, and they have stuck to it. And Navy have no room to run about. And absolutely no room. They closed the attackers so well. I think Navy should have used that boot a bit more to keep the threes coming up fast, as we see.
heavy showers of blessing for Navy, yet they'll have time to make it count. Vishnu Jayasinghe doesn't release the ball. And Christopher, once again, the man who wins the penalty. Jayasinghe, good to see him back on the field, putting his ears back and running straight into the opposition. But that man on your screen right now, who's lying down like a starfish, he will need a week off after what he's been through today. Fazil Marija. And time is off, and Christopher Cleat looks like he's taken a bit of bashing to the head. Got to get the physio on. He's played an outstanding game today, and they'll want him to stay on for the full 80 minutes if he can. The South African flanker with gigantic legs. He was just drawing in a few big ones. Anga Pereira is now on. For Kandy. Pradeep Liage. It's another messy line out. And the scrum comes Kandy's way. So the heavens have opened here at Welisara, just like the defense did earlier on in the game. 2 tries. penalty now. Sadapangoda with a long ball out to Danushka Pereira, who does brilliantly to keep it in. Outstanding work, Danushka Pereira, to keep that ball in like he was playing ultimate frisbee there. And they've got to run this penalty. Sean Vijay Singh has led from the front today. Surya Bandara, no way through for him. And that's a maul well set up by Rajapaksa, who goes down eventually. Andapangoda. Jayasinghe, Vishwamitra Jayasinghe dancing through. Jayasinghe, is he going to get there? No, he's not. The weather getting the better of him. The underfoot conditions absolutely terrible now. The rain is bucketing down on this Welisara ground. And the showers of blessing are not for Navy, they're for Kandy, are they? Leo Naik Esau trying to have a last gasp. And it's a penalty. And all Kandy have to do now is kick the ball out, Changa.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's not possible for play. Even if there are a few minutes, he should call it off because of the safety of the players. And the Kandy well deserved. Yes, the game is almost over. And Kandy winners by 13 points to 6. 16-6. It's a good win for Kandy. So Navy's unbeaten record is shattered.
Well, as the showers come down here in Welisara and drench this Navy ground, it matches the flagging spirits of this Navy team, who have been beaten here by Kandy for the first time in a long, long time. Navy tasting defeat. Kandy have played out of their skins. Christopher Cleat has been amazing for them. A dominant performance. And not since the likes of Jale Salu for Havelocks and people like Apisi Nagata for CH in the early 90s have I seen a performance dominant from a foreign player. He has been everywhere in attack and in defense, and his team really need to buy him not one but several drinks this evening. He has been the difference between Navy and Kandy today, but Kandy's defense held strong and Navy's structure just let them down. So a lot of work for Leonard De Silva to do. Closing thoughts on how this title race is shaping up, Changa?
Absolutely wide open. That's what I like in rugby this year and the last year and year before. I think we didn't have games. Everyone wanted to go and watch a good game of rugby. And absolutely Navy has a long step to take and to learn from this defeat. You remember, Shanaka, there was a New Zealander who came and played for Kandy by the name of Grenier, the flank forward. And he was absolutely fantastic. He was just like him. And definitely my man of the match.
Bit before my time, Changa, but that brings us to the end of the coverage here from Welisara. Congratulations to Kandy and commiserations to Navy, who had a few outstanding players on their team but just couldn't get it together to breach this staunch Kandy defense. So everybody watching in Kandy on ThePapare.com, you must be absolutely ecstatic that your team have done the unthinkable and beaten Navy at Welisara. But can they go on to win the title? That's a chat that we have to have over the course of this season. 16 points to 6, a 10-point win for the Kandy team. We'll bring you much more action from next week, but we have a game tomorrow